my husband and his girlfriend to the train station for their romantic getaway, like you do. And I kiss them both goodbye, and they get on the train, and I get in my car, and I adjust the rearview mirror, and I see this guy looking at me really confused, like, what the fuck just happened? And I was like, I know, right? What the fuck just happened? And so I drove home to take care of our kids, and I thought about what the fuck just happened. See, when we first decided to become non-monogamous, we thought it was about sex. He was going to get to have sex with other women, it was going to be awesome, and I was going to wade through acres of pussy. And there was sex, and we were also open to the idea that there might be love. We didn't have these rules about feelings because that's just really a waste of breath. And, well, see, the funny thing about love is it always surprises you. Like, when I had my first kid, right? I'm holding him. Well, let me back up a minute. I don't know why I became a mom. I really don't. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. In my mind, and in my life, family was enormous love, especially between me and my 3 little sisters, and between us and our parents. And it was also, you know, hitting and being hungry and alcoholism and, you know, twisted, weird, awful disowning and being disowned and, you know, therapy. So I waited a pretty long time before I decided let's have kids, and he did too. But there was just this part of me that knew. She was like, no, we'll be good, just do it. So I'm like, all right. So we screw and I stand on my head so it'll all stay in there, and it was on purpose, you know, and it worked. And so 9 months later, I'm holding this kid, and I said to that part of me that knew what she was doing, I was like, oh, this is it. And the first thing I thought was, why are all the songs about romantic love? This little trickle, this beautiful little brook, I mean, it's nice, it's bouncy, but it's just this little trickle next to this enormous, roaring ocean of love that you have for your kids. It just that love. And so love just has really surprised me. When Jan fell for Mary, I mean, yeah, sure, I felt a little jealous, of course, and I knew I would, and I felt very smug because I picked her. I went to OkCupid, and I was like shopping, and she was blonde, and she was really hot, and she was younger, you know, and she was a scientist. She was super smart. So I texted her and I was like, oh, I want to learn more about monogamy, lie. And so we got together and I was sitting next to him and I'm like, so, isn't he pretty? She was like, yeah. She agreed he was pretty. And so then they fell in love, and the experience of seeing someone who has been your lover monogamously for 20 years, falling in love with someone else is astonishing. It is breathtaking, really, because they're so beautiful together. I just, seeing them together makes me so happy, and I hadn't expected that. But like with parenting, I knew that weekend, when I screwed up with the cooking and got into a fight with my kids, one of them was going to yell, I hate you, Mom! And I knew, because I knew that when they said that, I would kind of think it was funny. But I didn't know that when my child, with every ounce of his strength and rage, was screaming out, "I hate you, Mom," that I would just become filled with love and admiration for this little creature. Like, yeah, you fight the man, woman, whatever, like, fight it! I had no idea that I would be so swept away. And with Mary, I had no idea how it would feel to be sitting and have Jan say something horribly, horribly, arrogantly, manlily wrong, you know, and to think, oh God, here I go. And then Mary would say, "Oh honey, maybe you could just let that go." I was like, I have an ally. And to go to her dissertation defense and to sit there and be filled with such sisterly pride. I felt like I had felt as a kid when I would go to one of my sister's concerts. My sister is a brilliant musician and feels so proud. And then afterwards, to have Mary's mom hug me and say, "It's so nice to meet you," and just this warmth inside of me, I just hadn't expected. And then on top of everything else, I fall totally in love with one of my dearest friends in the world, which I completely had not expected, and I discover layer upon layer, sex changes everything, and I get to see more and more of her soul in a way I never did before, and I had not expected that at all. I had not expected how truly confusing it would be when my kid said to me, "So, Mom, could you explain this to me? What's adultery?" And I was like, and what's this thing monogamy? And I'm like, oh my God, you didn't just soak that up and just assume, well, couldn't you ask me something easy, like what's a furry or what's a rim job? And it's very confusing trying to explain to a kid that your family is really weird. You know, it's not like that in the rest of the world, but the rest of the world doesn't get the feeling of not just spooning, but 3 spoons in a drawer. It's just delightful to have the sweet sleepiness with your arm over one person and another person. And then everybody rolls over 1, 2, and then you're snuggling the other way. It's really amazing. And Mary has kids. And to see, I thought that I was going to have 2 boys. And I had grown up with the big family, with the 4 sisters. But then, to see her little boys interacting with mine, to see the look of tenderness and protectiveness that my son displays toward the youngest, and to see them all together and fighting like brothers do in the most unpleasant ways possible. And I hadn't expected any of this. So I go through this whole weekend of trying to avoid explaining monogamy and cooking really bad meals and being told that I really need to learn how to cook while Dad's gone. And then I drive to the train station to pick them up, and I'm thinking about the 2 of them, and everyone who sees them says the same thing. When they're around each other, they glow, and they're so content and full of joy. And just to see the 2 of them together, it's just beauty upon beauty upon beauty. And I thought about love. It was Valentine's Day weekend, and it was very, very cold, and I thought about love and their joyous love together. And I stopped at the train station, and I waited, and the train pulled up, and they got on at the far end of the platform, and I saw them walking toward me. I saw his incredibly familiar stride that I've known for 25 years, next to her new stride, arm in arm, as they walked toward me. And what I saw coming toward me that night was love. Of course, it was love. But I realized more and more, each step they took toward me, that it was also family.